everybody, and welcome back to CCA's Medical Minute. This is episode number 48, sponsored by Kroger Health. And I am happy to have with me today Tracy Cesaretti. She is a representative of Zero, the end of prostate cancer. We're going to talk about a host of things today, particularly given that September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So you don't hear as much about prostate cancer as you do about breast cancer. You certainly don't see the month of September celebrated in the same way as breast cancer celebrated in October. But one thing, and I know Tracy knows this, in fact, this comes from Zero's own statistics that I got today, but the incidence rates for prostate cancer and the death rates are very similar to breast cancer. Thankfully, the death rates are a little bit lower, but there will be 268,000 men diagnosed with prostate cancer this year, as compared to about 290,000 cases of breast cancer. And in fact, some of those breast cancer cases, even though it's a small number, are men. And so it doesn't quite go the other direction. But because women don't have a prostate, that's an important point that needs to be made. But anyway, you just don't hear as much about it, and that's partly just guys just aren't as good about talking about it. It's getting better, and it's getting better partly due to organizations like Zero, that are advocacy organizations, that are support organizations, that even help facilitate financial assistance to make treatments possible and things like that. So we're really excited to have Tracy here today. Tracy, can you tell us a little bit, other than what I've already told, can you tell us a little bit about Zero and what Zero's mission is?
I sure can. Thank you, Steve, for having me on today. So excited to be here with everyone, and I'm honored to represent Zero. We are the leading national nonprofit, and our mission is to end prostate cancer. You know, it's in our name. We want to help all who are impacted by the disease. We like to advance research, provide support, create solutions to achieve health equity, and meet the most critical needs of our community. A few of the things I think, Steve, you were even talking about was, we provide comprehensive support for all prostate cancer patients. So we like to educate people. We provide, our website is a resource for millions of men and their families. Go through our websites, the printed materials that we provide, videos, we host webinars. And then we have a really interesting program that is one of my favorites to talk about, which is our 0360 program, which is we have case managers that are able to help patient access financial resources and help cut through some of the insurance and Medicare red tape so that they are able to pay for their treatments and be able to receive the support that they need. And we have helped more than 48,000 men through this program already, which is really, truly wonderful.
You know, what's interesting, Tracy, is it's timely because it was just a couple of days ago. As you know, right now I'm going through chemotherapy. I'm an advanced prostate cancer patient, have been for 9 years. And I was looking at what was billed to my insurance company. Now, that's before adjustments are made and things like that. But since early May, what has been billed to my insurance company is over $500,000. It's insane. And then so even after you take into account the plan discounts, it's still over $250,000. And thankfully, I have two different medical insurance plans. And so, I haven't been stuck with most of that bill. If that weren't the case, I'd probably be sitting on about $100,000 worth of bills right now that I have to figure out some way to pay, or schedule payments for, or whatever. It's just a crazy thing, and it's the thing about prostate cancer is there's two different versions of it in my mind. There's kind of the indolent version, and you guys help a lot of those people. Those are the guys that are likely going to be cured either through surgery or radiation or a combination thereof. And then there's the other thing that's kind of the devil in the details that people don't really hear that much about, which is what I would call advanced prostate cancer, because it's incurable. And so prostate cancer has the reputation of being the good cancer and things like that. Well, that's all well and good as long as you are cured. But if you're not, it's not a good cancer at all. And it wreaks havoc. The cells go everywhere. They're hard to find. The techniques are getting better. But it's not a disease you want. And one thing that I really like about Zero's organization is that, I don't know, even if you guys don't call it that, but you've been instrumental in lobbying efforts, and this is for the PCRP, so this is Prostate Cancer Research Panel, which is under the direction of the DoD, the Department of Defense. And you guys have been instrumental in getting that lobbying coordinated every year. And that has resulted in, even though it's by government standards a small increase, but $40 million over the last 8 to 10 years, And there have been amazing things come out of that program. Can you talk just a little bit about the PCRP?
Of course. So Steve is, one of our advocates who comes in. So each year we host our advocacy summit on Capitol Hill to increase that dollar. So as Steve mentioned, it's increased by over 40 million, but currently it's funded at $110 million a year. And that program, our attendees come every year. We hope to increase it every year to be able to get more money to what Steve said earlier about equalizing what breast cancer is getting in this space as well too from the DoD, since breast cancer is talked about so much more open in it. It's by getting men and their families to come and advocate on the Hill. Hopefully we can, get more treatment, more dollars in order to help, men like Steve be able to hopefully find the treatment that's going to help end prostate cancer, which is what our mission is, and, at least raise early awareness so that people are getting tested early on for it. But the PCRP to date, since Zero has started doing advocacy work in this regard, 7 new treatments via, almost a pharmaceutical through either chemotherapy or, and then a genomic test have also come out of the prostate cancer research program and that. But those advocates each year come out. I think there's more in trial, hundreds of treatments are approved every year. And I think, Steve, if I remember correctly, I think you've probably taken a few of these drugs that have come out of this through your treatment, but you've also sat on the panel that helped to determine, which treatments to fund. I know at least 1 year you've sat on it. I don't know if you sat on it multiple years to help do that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, so I've been on 3 of the drugs that have come out of the PCRP. And the important point here is these, I call them life-saving drugs, and here's the reason why, is that they're hormone therapy drugs, so Xtandi, Zytiga, and Erleada. So I've been on all 3 of those, and all of those drugs buy time. And so there's a period of time where your body is still sensitive to hormone deprivation, and so you can deprive it of testosterone, and it helps slow the disease. There's a point where that always ends, and so, but during that period of time, whether that be a year or 2 years at a time, every one of those drugs is buying more time. And an example I've given to people is that those 3 drugs have given me 6 more years. And in the meantime, there's a new groundbreaking treatment that's come along called Pluvicto. That was approved by the FDA earlier this year, and that's a game changer. And and I'm here for that. And I very well would not have been were it not for those other drugs that have come along that have bought me more time. And so I was really honored to be nominated by Zero to be a consumer reviewer on the PCRP. And I reviewed, I think I had 11 research applications to review. And it's something else, because even the abstracts, which are written for the layman, it throws you into a whole nother world, which is, trying to understand what these terms mean. And there was a lot of Googling and things that went on just to even understand what the terms meant. But you felt, I don't want to say a sense of pressure, but you were, because you were honored to be part of it, you felt like you needed to not be the weakest link on the team. And so I spent a lot of time in last October researching all of these and giving my recommendations from a consumer point of view, and was really kind of honored to do it. And again, I feel so strongly about it because if you look at the money that gets thrown around at the governmental level, I can't think of another program that has had such dramatic results as what's come out of the PCRP relative to death rates and quality of life and things like that. It's just really been an amazing thing. But the important point is somebody's got to pay for all of this stuff. And so, Zero's efforts to coordinate all these lobbying efforts and put together all the patient resources, you guys have a kind of a nice run-walk series model that takes place throughout the country, primarily, I think, throughout the summer and fall. But we're really proud to be the presenting sponsor of the walk that's coming back to Cincinnati this October. And we're really proud to be associated with Zero for that. So, Tracy, can you give just a couple details on the walk itself? Date, time, location, that kind of thing.
Of course, Stephen. We're so honored that Cincinnati Cancer Advisors are our presenting sponsor, and that your passion obviously was part of what brought us back to Cincinnati. So we're super excited to be back in person. back in Cincinnati and to be able to bring this run walk to the Ohio crowd, because I know so many of our patients and survivors, we hear it year in and year out at all of our different run walks, and especially during the pandemic, on how they use the run walk when we gather in person to know that they're not alone, because they see other patients, other family members, others who are going through this. And so our run walk series really helps the patients, realize they're not alone in this fight. There's others just like them out there. There's other family members, there's caregivers that are there to, honor them. And so, that's why we're so happy to be back in person, because we've heard from the community that they want to be back together. They want to know they're not alone. They want to gather together. And so we will be in Cincinnati on Sunday, October 9th, and are, super excited to be there. This year, we did change the location of the event from when we've been in Cincinnati in the past. We're going to be at the Otto Armletter Memorial Park with a 9 a.m. start time for the walk. And we're thankful to Cincinnati Cancer Advisors, AbbVie, who's our national partner, our national premier sponsor across the entire Run Walk series, and our local partners, the Urology Group, Dendron, Kitchen Savers, and Lantheus, for their support in helping, make our event a huge success. But I know, Steve, you've attended the Run Walk before, so I'd love to hear kind of like from a survivor. I'm obviously speaking as a daughter out there, and from zero, but I would love to hear from a survivor what the Run Walk means to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, in fact, it's one point I wanted to make is this is not a dreary event. I mean, this is not a bunch of people talking about dying from prostate cancer. In fact, I think it's better to view it as a bunch of people living with prostate cancer, and having a fun day together doing it. So, what I recall from some of the past events is some music going on, and people just walking in groups, having a good time, meeting new people. It's not a droll or sad thing. It's a great day out. And this year, I'd have to look into the local regulations, but it's taking place 3 days before my final chemotherapy treatment. So there's a high probability I may have an adult beverage of some sort, and something that I'm carrying while I'm walking. But I don't think you guys would preclude me from doing that. So, but for me that'll be a really big day, because that's I'm wrapping up chemo at that point, 3 days after that, and it's going to be a chance for me to kind of celebrate with other guys, many of which have gone through what I've gone through or are going through what I'm going through. So, again, Tracy, I'd like to thank you for being on today. Thank you for everything you guys do. I'm really excited about the fact that we can get this walk back in the market. I'm excited about our growing partnership with Zero here in Cincinnati. With what we do, Cincinnati Cancer Advisors, we see a lot of prostate cancer patients, and we want to be in a position to help them as best we can. And you guys are a nice bridge to that with the materials you already have available. So we look forward to working with you for a good time to come. I can't wait to see you on or even slightly before October 9th. And we'll stay in touch in the meantime. But anything we can do to make the walk more successful, please let us know, and we're going to do our level best to do that. So thanks for joining me today. And I'm going to be on vacation next week, so we won't meet, but we'll meet the week after that. So
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone, for exactly. I can't wait to give you a hug, Steve, when we see you on the 9th.
All right, sounds good, Tracy. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We'll see you next Wednesday at noon. Take care.